no. It just, no. I gave it 2 stars. Hello, welcome back to another video. If you are new, my name is Sarah and I do lifestyle, book related videos, beauty, all kinds of things. So welcome back. I am so proud of myself for this month, or last month. This will be, as you've seen in the title, my March wrap up. I've always wanted to do these videos, but I've been like, Sarah, who wants to see your review on 1 book or 2 books? I've never been one to knock out 5 or more books in a month. Let's be real, I have a full-time job. I do this on the side. But my goal was, okay, why don't I use the time that I would use scrolling, reading? And it was amazing how much I could get done. And it's also disgusting how much time we spend on our phones. So anyways, with that being said, I read 6 books this month, or last month. I read 6 books in March, and I am so excited to share them with you. So grab a matcha, grab a coffee, whatever you like, get cozy. Well, let's start. The first book I read, I'm going to put it right here because I read it on my Kindle. I'm using my Goodreads to help me track. So I read The Personal Assistant by Kimberly Bell, and I gave this 3 stars. Wow. This book was intense, but in like a long, drawn out way, if that makes sense. The beginning captivated me. It was about a influencer, and then something goes wrong with like something she posts, and then her personal assistant goes missing, and it's like this whole thriller, mystery, drama. Was it good? Yes. The reason I gave it 3 stars is because I found myself being like, okay, I'm ready to finish this book. And you know, like, you just don't want that feeling with a book. You don't want to just be sitting there like reading just to say, yep, finish that one. So I gave it 3 stars. It was okay. The next one I read was The Perfect Marriage, and I gave that one, don't hate me, I gave that one 3 stars as well because I did not like the ending. So The Perfect Marriage is about a husband and wife, and the husband ends up having an affair, and the wife finds out. Wife finds out because the husband gets arrested because the mistress, I'm not spoiling anything, this is like on the back of the book, the mistress is found dead in their lake house, and he was last seen with her, and so he's arrested. It sounds like, oh my god, that's going to be so good, and like a lot of people have rated it 5 stars. A lot of people have, you know, said great things. I thought it was good. I read it in like 3 days. But I just wasn't into the ending. Like the ending, I was like, oh, really? Like that's what you chose? I don't know. It didn't do it for me. So 3 stars for The Perfect Marriage. The next one I read was, I have the physical book, The Hand on the Wall. There's also, this is the second book, this is the third, and then Truly Devious, I have that on my Kindle, is the first. And so I really want to buy Truly Devious so I can complete the little set. But this series is about a girl named Stevie, and she goes to Ellingham Academy, and it's basically like a school for kids who are really into like one specific thing, and Stevie's really into crime, and so she's been trying to figure out the Ellingham Academy murders for her whole life basically, and so this is just a continuation of that story. I don't really know how to word this without giving anything away, but basically 3 people are now dead when you get to this book. 2 on campus, now an accident in town has claimed another life, and so she's trying to figure out who the murderer is. And so then, if you know from the past books, David is missing, he disappeared, and so she's trying to connect all 3 deaths in the present and then the deaths in the past. And I really like this. Usually I feel like as books continue on, like the series, it usually kind of goes down. But this I liked. I gave it 4 stars, and I see myself picking up the next one, which I believe is A Box in the Woods. So, and this one was on my 24 books to read in 2024 if you haven't seen that video. So check with this one. Love that. Next book I read, I have the physical book. I read it on my Kindle and the physical book. If you're like that, totally understand. I like to have it physical and Kindle just because if I want to read in bed and I don't want to have to deal with a book. Anyways, I read Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. This was a 5-star read for me. This was beautiful. I read it in like 2 days. This book, I ate it up. I'm married to my high school sweetheart, if you didn't know. And so like any book that deals with like high school love moved into like adult love, like it's just such a soft spot for me because like that's what I did. And so I mean, if you didn't do that, you would, I feel like, still really enjoy this book. But it's just such a heartwarming, cozy story. If you're not sure what it's about, basically Macy is engaged to this guy, and then her, like, it's not high school love, but her young love comes back to the town, and she sees him and she's like, oh my gosh, that's Elliot, like that's him. And then she and her fiance realize like they're just not like meshing. So she tries to figure out, will she go to Elliot? Will she stay with the fiance? And it's just like the whole story. They're also like the whole backstory on Elliot and Macy. I wish I didn't take so long to read this, but 5 stars. 5 stars all around. This was so good. So good. The next book I read really let me down. If you follow anyone who reads, really, Magnolia Parks is like huge. Especially if you follow like people in Australia, like Rachel Reeds and or Rachel Catherine, Sophie Jane Miller, any of them. They're like obsessed, and so I love watching their videos. So I'm like, oh, let me jump in, let me become obsessed. And in the beginning I ate it up. Like I remember there was one night and I was like, oh my god, and I was like, I'm doing this because I was on my Kindle. And no, it just, no, I gave it 2 stars. Magnolia Parks, I gave it 2 stars. I'm sorry. It was too much toxicity and too much F this, slept with this person, F this, slept with this person, F this. And I physically can't read that. Like that's just trash to me. I'm like, okay, there was no, like, it was designer this, F this, and then BJ slept with this person. Like I'm sorry, that's not a story to me. That's just yuck. So I've learned that series is not for me. If it's for you, no judgment whatsoever. I wish it was for me because like the beginning caught me. I was like, ooh, this is kind of like a London Gossip Girl. Like, yeah. But I think I'm just like over that. Like I can't. So sorry. 2 stars. I just found I wanted to DNF it. Honestly, I wanted to DNF it. But I realized I was 200 some pages in, and I was like, I can't just DNF this. And then it not count towards my reading goal either. So I was like, I'm gonna finish it. We got to like page 300 some, and I was like, oh my god, come on, like just end. And I don't want to feel that way. Like this book, I didn't want to end. I just felt like there wasn't really a story. It was just like, Magnolia, you love him, he screws up all the time. Why go back? I get it, it's your love, it's your, but girlfriend, that boy, y'all's relationship is so toxic. So toxic, and it honestly made me be like, oh no, like I don't want any young girl reading this thinking like this is what, I don't know, it just didn't sit right with me. we're not a Magnolia Parks fan. And that's okay. That's okay. Everyone has their opinion. Next one, the last one, is A Stranger in the House by Sherry LaPena. And oh my god, that one 4 stars. If you have not read The Couple Next Door, I loved that book. Like, oh my god, like amazing. Like, I didn't give it 5 stars, but I will say it was good. Like, it kept me on the edge of my seat. Took me like 2 to 3 days. I was just clicking through, reading. It was good. If you're not familiar with what it's about, it basically, I don't want to give away any spoilers, so I'm going to look and see. Neighborhood, a domestic thriller packed full of secrets. So Karen and Tom are married. They are newlyweds. But one day Tom returns home and finds that Karen, his wife, is just gone. But her wallet is there, her phone is there, like everything that you would take with you if you left is at the house. So he can't get in touch with her. He can't figure out what's going on. Then there's a knock at the door. The police then take Tom to the hospital to try to ID his wife. And he's like, yeah, that's her. What is going on? What happened? The wife doesn't remember what happened. The cops think that her memory loss is highly convenient. But the crazy part is she ran through a lot of stop signs and like red lights, and she's like a model citizen, and she went to like the sketchier part of town, which he was like, why was she over there? Karen returns home with Tom, determined to heal, move on, whatever, but someone's been in the house. So the crazy part is she's kind of like OCD, and so she looks and makes sure that like everything is how she left it, and then she starts taking pictures before she leaves the house to prove like someone is coming in. So she takes a picture of like the bed after she makes the bed in the morning. She takes a picture of her perfume bottles, and like she can tell someone has come in and touched it, and someone's come in and like touched her underwear drawer. Like, so she's like, someone is in this house. And he's like, I think you're, you know, just, you need to rest, you need to relax. And she's like, no, someone is in the house. So then throughout the book, you're trying to figure out who was in the house. You're figuring out why she was over in that sketchy part of town. It was good. It was catchy. I liked it. I gave it a 4-star rating. So to recap everything we read this month, we started with The Personal Assistant by Kimberly Bell. We gave that 3 stars. The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose, 3 stars. The Hand on the Wall, which is the 3rd book in the Truly Devious series, by Maureen Johnson. We gave that 4 stars. Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren, 5 stars. Beautiful. Magnolia Parks, the 1st book in the Magnolia Parks universe by Jessa Hastings, 2 stars. And then A Stranger in the House by Sherry LaPena. We gave that 4 stars. Thank you for listening and sitting through my March wrap-up. I am so excited to do April's wrap-up. I did a book club this month, so I already finished the book. If you're curious, it was None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. Love Lisa Jewell. Stay tuned for my thoughts on that one. But I'm excited to read. I was feeling like I was in a reading slump. This definitely got me back into gear, got me back into reading. So if you are wanting to see more book content, I do have a book Instagram that I'll put at the bottom of the screen, as well as my personal Instagram, and I'm also on Goodreads. So happy reading. Also, if you are a Kindle girly and you have not bought the Kindle stand with the wireless Bluetooth remote, it sounds so lazy. It sounds so like, girl, you do not need that. I don't need it, but wow, is it amazing. I read 100 pages in bed yesterday morning just by using it. Like, it is so cozy. You can get all under the covers and just click and read. Highly recommend it, and it's not that expensive. So we love it. But I hope you have a great morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching this, and I will be back soon with an April TBR, and thank you for watching. Thank you for taking the time to spend it with me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.